It's 3:30 p.m. in Mumbai, 1 p.m. in Nairobi. I'm Zain, Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. You're watching World 1 live from London. Scuppered, reputations damaged, careers ended abruptly. The price of the phone hacking scandal just keeps growing. Now, there's been yet another arrest as police investigate who was responsible for illegal eavesdropping. Officers aren't naming the latest person arrested, just saying it's a 60-year-old man. On Wednesday, the furore over phone hacking blasted News Corp's takeover bid for B-Sky B out of the water. Media baron Rupert Murdoch backing down after the Prime Minister urged him not to go ahead. Well, lawmakers want Mr. Murdoch to appear before them to face questioning, along with his son James and News International Chief Executive Rebekah Brooks. The three of them have until today to decide whether or not they will accept that invitation. Dan Rivers is outside the British Houses of Parliament.
Well, the clock is really ticking for Rebekah Brooks, the embattled Chief Executive of News International, and Rupert and James Murdoch.
The group has accused Libyan rebels of abusing civilians and burning and looting homes. Human Rights Watch says some rebels have beaten people they thought supported government forces. The accusations came as rebel forces retook Walish, a village in the west of the country. Here in Europe, the Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi is in Parliament right now presenting a plan to cut government borrowing. On Wednesday, the IMF called on Italy to take decisive action on its finances over fears it may be the next country to need a bailout. And there's more bad news for Greece, which has already had one bailout and is expected to need a second. The credit rating agency Fitch has cut its rating on Greek government bonds again to CCC, and that's just one level above default. We want to bring in Nick Parsons. He's head of research for UK and Europe and global head of Forex strategy at National Australia Bank. Nick, thank you very much for being with us. We talk about Europe and we've talked about the United States. The United States is now I remember you were saying actually if it was in Europe, it would already be at default status.
I think it would. I think the agencies would have already downgraded the United States. It's got a debt to GDP ratio 70-75%. It's going to hit 90% by the end of this decade.
That's what we're seeing also here in Europe as well. When we're talking about countries such as Greece and Italy, governments within, of course, Italy is now saying that, yeah, they are working together. However, you know, can the same people who brought these countries into this situation be trusted to get them out of it?
Well, I think we have to remember that there are three different crises in Europe. Greece's crisis is simply because it borrowed too much. Portugal's crisis is because it's not growing enough. And Ireland's crisis is because of the banking sector. They're separate and distinct. There isn't one real common linking theme other than, ultimately, the amount of debt that there is.
Nick, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
This is World 1 live from London. Just after the break.
Famine, drought, terror, Somalia's troubles spill beyond its own borders. We take a look at some of the consequences for its neighbor, Kenya. Some of the other stories that we're talking about here on World 1. An unpublished manuscript by Jane Austen is going on the auction block at Sotheby's. It's called The Watsons and is handwritten with the author's notes and edits. It's just 68 pages long and has been kept together in a box. The manuscript could fetch up to about $500,000. Here we go again. Will Brad and Angelina tie the knot? Reports are surfacing that it's gonna happen, this time for real. And that plan for I Do is an intimate and informal wedding in the south of France. It could happen as soon as the summer. Of course, there has been no comment from the couple. And the boys shouldn't have all the fun. That's what one female U.S. Marine thinks. Kelsey DeSantis has uploaded a video on YouTube asking Justin Timberlake to asking him out to a ball.
So, Justin, you want to call out my girl Mila? Well, I'm going to call you out and ask you to come to the Marine Corps ball with me.
Now, her invitation comes after Timberlake's co-star Mila Kunis accepted a date request from a male U.S. Marine in Afghanistan. I think that's quite an inventive way to ask someone out, I guess.
It is. We should upload some of our own YouTube videos.
Who would you ask out?
Bradley Cooper.
There you have it. Bradley Cooper, if you're watching.
Right. Well, you know, Mila Kunis, by the way, there are reports now that says that she may have a scheduling conflict and can't actually make that date.
Scheduling conflict?
Oh, Mila, come on. You're watching World 1 live from London.
A report by the Irish government on sex abuse in the Catholic Church says the cover-up by clergy went on far longer than was previously thought. The report says this man, the former Bishop of Cloyne, helped conceal alleged abuse in his diocese as recently as 2009. Catholic Church Cardinal Sean Brady has apologized for the church's failings. For more on this, we're joined in the studio by CNN's contributor on religious affairs, Richard Green. Richard, thank you very much for being with us. So they're saying that the church structures have proven to be effective.
And that is exactly what this report says is not true. Now, we've known for a long time that abuse went on in the Catholic Church. There have been a number of government reports that have uncovered the abuse.
Big deal about it. Why are they not making a big deal about it? But why are they doing this quietly? I mean, is there a sense that the Vatican is under a law unto itself?
I think the Vatican certainly does feel that way. You know, there are canon rules in place. It is a supranational institution, you know, and they feel they don't answer to the local laws in many places. They answer to...
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our sports headlines right now. And the man to do that is Don Riddell.
Thank you very much. That's right. Let's go. The quarterfinals are all set for the Copa America, and finally the goals are flying in.
The British Open Championship is underway at Royal St George's, and it's a typically blustery links course kind of day. The US Open champion Rory McIlroy is out on the course, and Shane O'Donoghue is there to tell us all about that. Shane.
How are you, and welcome to Royal St George's. It is very windy and a little bit wet at the moment, but the championship proper is well underway, and Rory McIlroy looked very comfortable.
At the global weather picture now, and go to Jennifer Delgado at the World Weather Center. Certainly some of the, not the coldest places, perhaps some of the hottest places that we're seeing right now.
Yeah,
Jen?
I know. A lot of people would like to escape the heat. We talked about that yesterday across parts of the U.S. Well, for today, we're following up on the severe weather we talked about yesterday through Europe. Remember yesterday?
So strange.
Pose on a beach. You pose on a beach. I do not like cold weather.
Yeah.
Jen Delgado, I'm sure you want to at least be there for a few minutes because there's a massive heat wave in Atlanta. It's like 110 degrees.
Wait a minute, I've got you beat.
Ridiculous.
Kuwait City right now, 50 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Ouch.
They can complain about heat. We match, guys.
I never complain.
We match.
We do. Good observation.
Jen, thank you so much. You have yourself a great day. You are watching World One live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And we always try to match every now and then. I'm Zain Verjee. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll get you an update of the headlines next at the top of the hour, so stay with CNN.